don't forget about it, but forget about it. You feel me? So be here right now. Be here. Ground yourself in the present moment. Take that deep breath. Take 3 deep breaths. And just allow yourself to ground into this present space, to ground into your body. Feel into your body. Feel into your heart. Feel into your mind. Just feel everything that you are and allow yourself to be. Love and wholeness to you. I love you and I'm grateful for you being here. So today we're going to talk about 2 things that you cannot grow without. And those things are self-love and inner peace. So I'm going to teach you 3 basic things plus a secret weapon that allow you to really attain that inner peace and that self-love that you may be looking for or searching for within yourself. So first one, mindfulness. Simple, again, these are simple, basic practices that you can do literally every day, all day. It's one of those basic practices that may be difficult, but the more that you get it down, the more it just becomes part of your nature. And so mindfulness is the first one that we're going to talk about. And mindfulness is easy. It's just paying attention and being fully present within yourself and in the environment that you're in. So for example, I'm doing it right now. I'm not just speaking, mindlessly. I'm speaking mindfully because my mind, everything, I'm here in the present moment. I'm fully aware of what I'm saying. And I'm fully aware that I'm channeling this from a higher source so that I can give it to you. I'm fully aware of my immediate surroundings. I'm fully aware of myself. I'm present with myself. I'm here with myself. And not even sometimes, oftentimes, that's what most people lack because we're not used to practicing being here in the present moment. We're so heavily programmed to think about, what's going to happen in the future? What happened in the past? Dang, this person's mad at me for this, so I got to... Don't forget about it, but forget about it. You feel me? So be here right now. Be here. Ground yourself in the present moment. Take that deep breath. Take 3 deep breaths. And just allow yourself to ground into this present space, to ground into your body. Feel into your body. Feel into your heart. Feel into your mind. Just feel everything that you are and allow yourself to be. Keyword, allow yourself to be. There's no resistance. Just allow yourself to be here. Allow yourself to be you. Allow yourself to be present. Moving on to number 2. Again, another basic concept, another basic practice, but again, a lot of people do not practice it because they're afraid to. This being shadow work. So a lot of people are afraid of their shadow. A lot of people don't like acknowledging the parts that they don't want to acknowledge of themselves. The part that made them act out. The part that made them act in a strange way to a friend that ended a relationship. The part that made them, get in a fight with someone, something like that. It could be even as simple as the part of themselves that was afraid to grow, to take bigger steps in order to grow. So it could be, shadow work pertains to all parts of ourselves that we don't want to acknowledge or that we don't accept within ourselves. And so practicing shadow work I'm actually going to do a video, this is going to be the next video, talking specifically about shadow work in a very particular and almost a way that it's like a cheat code. So stay tuned for that. But right now we're talking about shadow work in the most basic form, in the most basic sense. And that's just simply sitting with yourself, being mindful, number 1. And number 2, shadow work, being mindful of what is coming up within you. Is there something that's bothering you from 5 days ago that happened? Is it something big? Is it something small? Is it something small that seems very big because of how you made it out to be in your mind? Or is it something very big that seems small because of how you made it out to be in your mind? Whatever it is, it's coming up for a reason. So allow it to come up. Allow yourself to feel it. Feel heavily into it. Don't allow yourself to become the emotions, but feel it. And if you feel the need to embody it, especially, a lot of women feel the need to embody their emotions more fully than males, but because, it's wired differently. But if you feel the need to embody those emotions, allow yourself to embody the emotions. It's all part of the process of doing shadow work. It's part of the acknowledgement that what you're feeling is there, what you're feeling is valid. And so coming from that acknowledgement comes acceptance. You have to be willing to accept what it is that you're feeling within yourself, that you're experiencing within yourself, and accept what happened in the past, accept what you did, accept what another person did to you, accept the cause and the effect of it, and forgive yourself first and foremost. Forgive yourself first and foremost for anything that you've done or anything that was done to you. You have to forgive yourself so that you have that inner peace aspect again, so that you have that self-love aspect again. Because oftentimes when we don't forgive ourselves, that's one of the major ways that we hold ourselves back from really growing, because we're stuck on something in the past. If you're stuck on something in the past, that's like carrying around a suitcase full of luggage that you're not even using. So if you're carrying that dead weight around with you everywhere that you go, that's very tiring. And so this is why shadow work is so important, because it allows us to free ourselves from the past. It allows us to let go of the past in a way that is healthy. You're not just bypassing it, you're dealing with it, you're acknowledging it, you're accepting it, you're forgiving yourself so that you can let go in a healthy way and learn the lessons. That's crucial right there, learning the lessons from what it is that you just experienced, or what it is that you're learning to accept, what it is that you're learning to become okay with. Being okay with what happened. That doesn't make what happened okay, but accepting that it happened and being okay that it happened. I'm still here, I'm still alive. It may have affected me in the past, but I'm gonna learn from that experience. And that's key with shadow work. Again, learning from the experiences. Learning from what you've been through is major key. Because if you don't learn, then you're just gonna repeat the same cycles. You're gonna allow the things to keep coming up within your life that hurt you in the past. You're gonna keep doing things that hurt other people that you've done in the past. But if you learn those lessons, so acknowledgement, acceptance, forgiveness, and then learning the lessons. And the fifth thing is integrating those lessons so that you really get it. It becomes a part of you. Those lessons are becoming a part of you. And it's not that they're coming like they're something new. They're really, because like I said earlier, everything is already within you. And so if everything is within us, all we're doing really is just remembering those different aspects of ourselves that we've already been in the past, but they've been covered up by the hurt and the pain and the suffering. But in undoing that hurt and pain and suffering, you're allowing yourself, your full true self, to come back online, and so that you can be all that you are again. That's so much of our young adult or really just adult lives in general. Healing from all the pain that we suffered in childhood and during our teenage years, and even during our young adult lives, because we're always learning, we're always evolving. So that means that pain is almost inevitable, but what matters is how you respond to it. How do you utilize the pain to help you become better? How do you utilize the pain to even grow more in your self-love, grow more with inner peace? So this is what shadow work is for. So I'll go over that again. Acknowledgement, acceptance, forgiveness, learning, and integrating. Those are the 5 things with shadow work that you must incorporate within your routine, within your system, so that you can become very efficient with your shadow work. Now, shadow work can be a real roller coaster. It can be a roller coaster for sure. But if you master the system of doing shadow work, then the extreme highs and extreme lows, they become more neutral. You still feel them maybe to their full extent, but you don't have to go personally to those highs and lows in order to get to the end point of neutrality, and neutrally being in a state of peace, in a state of mind, or a state of love within yourself. Because yes, it is possible to be neutral and in a state of love. Love doesn't mean just happiness or just joy, just gratitude. It means everything, full spectrum. I'd say everything besides fear. The more that you do your shadow work, the more that you be able to trust yourself. The more that you trust yourself, the more love you will have for yourself. The more that you love the more love that you have for yourself, the more inner peace you're able to cultivate within yourself. Let's move on to number 3, which kind of goes into shadow workers, self-acceptance. Accepting yourself as you are, but also knowing that you're here to grow, you're here to evolve. So self-acceptance is arguably the foundation for self-love and inner peace, because like I said in shadow work, it's one of the first steps that you have to have in order to actually get to the further steps. So self-acceptance, again, kind of ties into shadow work, because if there's parts of yourself that you don't accept or that you're struggling to accept, those can be considered aspects of your shadow. And those are aspects that you need to work on and bring to light so that you can learn those aspects of yourself. And once you learn those aspects of yourself, you're able to integrate those aspects of yourself. Like, there's so many things that we've become shut down by in society, by our parents, by teachers, whatever it is. And what's coming to me right now is a lot of those things, I should say, like the biggest thing that most of us face within our lives is having our dreams shut down, having our abilities shut down from a child, from childhood, from adolescence, whatever the case may be. But growing up believing that you can do anything that you want to do, growing up knowing that you have certain abilities, maybe you're able to you have clairvoyance, maybe able to feel certain things very intensely, maybe able to heal your body extremely quickly. But when you tell those things to your parents, your teachers, other adult figures in your lives, more often than not, they're not going to foster what it is that you believe or what it is that you know about yourself. They're going to most likely try to bring you back down to reality so that you don't be hurt by whatever it is that you're dreaming about in the future, by not achieving it because they didn't achieve it, or because they had abilities when they're younger, but they too got shut down. So they think that it's healthy and that it's good for you to have your abilities and your dreams shut down for whatever reason. No. And dealing with self-acceptance, sometimes you have to be radically self-accepting, because those aspects of ourselves that may have been shut down or that people are trying to shut down, whether it's consciously or unconsciously, we have to know ourselves so well that we stand on a square no matter what. So if we know that we're here to do something, that we're here to fulfill a certain type of mission, that we're here to achieve some type of dream, then we need to go for that no matter what. Radically self-accept yourself. And I guess this is the message that the mass needs to hear, because again, I'm just channeling out. This isn't what I was planning on saying, but this is the message that's coming through. So practice radical self-acceptance. Don't let anyone try to tear down your dream. You have to stand firm on your square, stand firm on your inner knowing, in your inner knowing, and embody what it is that you know is true for yourself. And just because there may not be other people who support you, there may not be really any evidence that supports what you know within yourself. But how do you think the most famous or the most impactful inventions in human history, well, at least written human history, have come to surface, have come to fruition? Like, I guarantee you, when I believe it was the Wright brothers who created the first airplane that we know about, I guarantee you there's so many doubters, so many naysayers saying that, humans aren't meant to fly. We have 2 feet for a reason. We don't have wings, like all that type of stuff, right? I guarantee there's probably people saying all type of the crazy stuff like that. But to them, it seemed completely rational, completely normal to not believe that humans can fly, until the Wright brothers changed the paradigm that we know is reality. Now, humans fly every day. Humans fly taking airplanes, taking jets. We have even, jet suits now, like jet packs now. So it's like anything that you believe, anything that you know within yourself, not just believe, because there is some weakness to belief, but anything that you know within yourself, like I know this can happen, I know I can create this, I know that I can invent that, I know that I have this ability, I know that I can do that. Foster that, curate that, cultivate that, keep that within yourself and grow it. Continually practice it, trust your intuition, continue accepting yourself as you are, continue accepting yourself as you will be, and grow, because your intuition will lead you to that destination that you're meant to be at, that you're meant to achieve. So accept yourself, practice radical self-acceptance. If you know that you're supposed to do something here, practice radical self-acceptance, continue to know yourself, continue to get to know yourself better, learn yourself more and more, and trust your intuition as you follow it and obey it so that you can reach the destination that you know you're meant to be at. And then the secret weapon is arguably the most simplest, but it's honestly the most powerful, the most impactful, and that is being the observer. The power of being the observer. The power of not being swept up in the currents, but allowing yourself to see what the currents are doing so that you can then choose to respond correctly or in the best way, in the most healthy way. Because this is something that I didn't know was like a superpower growing up, because I remember very vividly when I was little, when I was like really just straight out the womb, I was always practicing being the observer, always. Like I was always just watching and observing and learning through observation. Like I have so many vivid memories of just sitting by myself on the living room floor at my parents' house. Toys are all around me and stuff, but I didn't really have a desire to play with those toys in those moments. What I had the desire to do was just sit there and just literally look at the air, look at the empty space in front of me. And during those experiences, what I noticed was that I could shift my focus from seeing what is apparently not there, but seeing what really is there, if you get what I'm saying. So I would see, like, I remember back then, I used to think like it was like a bunch of like dust particles or like germs, or I was seeing germs in the air or something like that. I used to think I was seeing that because I would literally just sit there and just watch as if I'm watching nothing, but I'm really looking to see what is there that I'm not seeing. And this was me when I was like 2, 3, 4 years old, and after I was sitting there for like a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever it is, just staring, I would start to see like the flow of the energy of the room just start to rapidly just pick up. It was like I was seeing, like, say like there are dust particles in the air, and then all of a sudden they would rapidly just speed up, like as if they were like speeding past me. And I realized that I wasn't seeing, just the dust particles in the air. I was actually seeing the way that the energy was flowing in the environment, in the atmosphere. I was seeing that was me. I didn't know what I was doing back then, but I was actually opening my third eye by practicing being the observer. Because I would just sit there for, I don't even know how many minutes, and just watch that, just observe that. And then I'd also learn from nature, being the observer. We had, ants outside and stuff, and lizards and stuff. And I would just walk by the little anthill and just watch them. Or I'd find like a trail of ants, see where they're going, and just watch them, see how they moved, see how they communicated with one another, see how their little antennas, they touched and they exchanged information. I would watch things like that, and like I would look at like spiders and like jumping spiders, and like those daddy long legs, sometimes black widows and stuff like that. I would just watch and observe them, and I would learn so many things from them. For example, like the spider, how they just sit there and wait. Like they build their web, they build their home, they build their environment, and their environment is what helps them, to survive, what helps them to eat. And they just build it, sit there and wait and watch. And it didn't matter if it was days, hours, weeks, they'd just be there, sitting, waiting, watching, waiting for their opportunity. And whenever something does come and get stuck in their web, they pounce on it. They're right there on it. And I learned so much from that as a young child, because it helped me to look within myself. It helped me to see that what I'm seeing externally is also something that I see within myself. Now, I didn't use that same exact language back then. I was just doing it. I didn't have any words for it. I didn't have any language for it. It's just something that I was doing. I was just learning. And that's how I learn best to this day, through observation. So if you learn to become the observer of yourself, and as well as the external environment around you, you're in a state of constant and continuous learning. You're always in the state of being the student and the teacher, because as you're actively learning, you're actively integrating by being the observer. So by observing, say let's break it down like this. So you're observing, say, like someone else do an activity. You're observing, you're watching them. And then as you're watching them, you're learning from them. So you're putting things together in your mind, you're connecting dots in your mind that allow you to then integrate that lesson into yourself, so that you can then go out and practice it on your own. You can then go out and practice it. And then once you reach a level of mastery, you can then teach it to other people. But the way that you learned it was through observation. You didn't learn it by interacting with that actual person, like physically interacting with that person. You learn just by watching them. And if you can learn just by watching and observing, then you basically cracked a cheat code in life, because then you're able to learn from absolutely everything. So whether it's meditation that you're doing, or if you're just simply watching a movie, watching anime, you can learn through observing what's going on in those movies. What are they portraying? What are what are the character archetypes that are being portrayed in there? What do certain things like symbolism mean? There's so many things that we can learn, and they don't have to be like sit down lecture type videos or lectures, in school and college and stuff like that, or reading a book. You can learn from being entertained by being the observer. So that's the cheat code. That's the secret weapon that has allowed me to grow so much throughout these years, just by being the observer. Observing, learning, and integrating. Those three things: observe, learn, and integrate. I'm leaving it off on that. So remember, self-love and inner peace is what allows that garden within us, that garden that is us, to be healthy. And then we water that garden through our spiritual practices. Those spiritual practices being mindfulness, shadow work, self-acceptance, and the secret weapon being the observer. So be the observer, practice that. Practice self-love, be in a state of love, be in a state of inner peace, be in a state of wholeness. And yeah, that's it. So if you like this video, thank you for watching through to the end. Leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Love and wholeness to you.